Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 4.5 Notes, Day 3. Today we're talking about standard form. Our learning target today is to be able to write equations of lines in standard form. So, we've already talked about slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. We've talked about point-slope form, which is the y minus your y equals the slope x minus your x. Remember y1, the slope, x1, we've talked about those. But now we're going to talk about standard form. Okay? Standard form is ax plus by equals c. The thing about standard form is it's got a couple of rules that we have to follow. And the first one is that a, b, and c, which are always numbers, cannot be fractions or decimals. Okay? So no fractions or decimals. 2, a is always, always, always positive. And the last one is the terms with the variables are on the same side of the equal sign. Okay? So if you need to pause the video to write those down, we're going to go ahead and move on. And we will refer to these. Okay? So write each equation in standard form. I'm going to draw the line down the middle so we can see the two different sides. Now, we're going to take a look at the first one. A, B, and C, are they fractions or decimals? No. Okay, so we're good. Now, is a positive? A is always the one that's connected to the x, and it's not. So we have to make a positive. But the last one is we want the variables on the same side. Okay? So since we need to get a positive, what we're going to do is we're going to move it to the other side by adding the 2x. So we're left with a positive 2x plus y equals 6. All right, well, that's standard form right there. That's all you have to do. All right, let's look at 2. Now, a, the x, is positive right here. If a is positive, we're going to keep it, and we're going to subtract the y to the other side. When we do that, we get 0 equals x minus y minus 5. Okay? We're good, except we've got this extra 5 here. We can't have that on that side. Okay? So we're going to get rid of it by adding 5 to both sides. That cancels, and we get 5 equals x minus y, which is the exact same thing as x minus y equals 5, okay? They are the same thing. So whichever way you want to write it is fine. That's how it's going to be written on your test, okay? Now, you might say, well, Mr. Grice, I'm lazy, or I just like moving my x to the other side, so I'm going to subtract x to both sides. Okay, that's fine, except now a is negative. So if a is negative, what you have to do is if you change the x, then you have to change all the other signs. And what you really just did was divided everything by a negative 1, which is fine. You just got to make sure to keep up with that rule. Okay? All right. Number 3. Well, we've got two things going on here. We've got a is negative, but we also have fractions. Okay? We've talked about this in the last chapter. To get rid of fractions, you multiply by LCD, which in this case is the denominator, okay? And you have to multiply that to everything, okay? So you get 2y equals, off to the side if you need to do negative 1/2 times 2 over 1, which is negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. And then plus 14. We got to get the y on the same side. x and y on the same side. X is negative, so we're going to move it. And you get x plus 2y equals 14. And that's our final answer. Okay. Number 4. Once again, we have a fraction, so we need to multiply by the LCD. Okay, so let's start multiplying. You get 3y equals, off to the side, 2 over 3 times 3 over 1, which is 6 over 3, which reduces to 2. Now, let's take a look to what it reduced to and what the numerator was. Those look like pretty similar numbers to me. Let's look at 3. The numerator and what it reduced to. That's not a coincidence. Okay? That's going to happen every time. Okay? So it's a little trick. So we know that that's 2x plus 4. So x is positive, so I'm going to subtract the 3 to the other side. And we get 0 equals 2x minus 3y plus 4. Subtract the 4 to both sides. And we get negative 4 equals 2x minus 3y. All right, number 5. What do we have in 5? Okay, 5, we have decimals, and another thing which we can't have, so we have to multiply everything. And to get rid of decimals, you need to multiply by the place value. Okay, and that's the tenths, so we need to multiply everything by 10. When we do that, we get 10y equals 4x plus 10. What are we going to do? Well, x is positive, so I'm going to move the 10y. And we get 0 equals 4x minus 10y plus 10. And then you got to get the number to the other side, so subtract 10 to both sides. Negative 10 equals 4x minus 10y. Okay, and let's see. A is positive, we have no fractions, and x and y are on the same side, so we are good. Let's do another one. Okay, once again, we're going to have to multiply by the place value. And we get 10y equals negative 16x minus 3. The x is negative, so we're going to move the x to both sides. And we get 16x plus 10y equals negative 3. So after each one of these, you should always check to make sure that you have no fractions or decimals. You have to remember that a has to be positive, and the variables on the same side. Okay? Every single time you should be checking to make sure that's the case. Okay? All right. Number 7, you guys are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and see how you do. Okay, so for this one, we had a denominator of 4. So I multiplied everything by 4, and you got 4y equals x plus 12. Since x is positive, I moved the y to both sides, and then I subtracted the 12 to get negative 12 equals x minus 4y. All right, let's do the next one together. Okay, we have fractions, so I'm going to multiply everything by 3. And we get 3y equals negative 2x minus 15. To get the x on the other side, I'm going to add 2x to everything. And we're going to get 2x plus 3y equals negative 15. You guys starting to get a hang of it? All right. 9 and 10, why don't you guys go ahead and pause the video? I'd like you to do both of them, okay? Good luck. All right, so there's your work for both of those. 9, since x was positive, I subtracted the y to both sides, and then I added the 8 to both sides to get 8 equals 5x minus y. In number 10, you had to multiply everything by 5, add the 4 to the other side, and you get 4x plus 5y equals 20. So for 11 through 14, if you want to pause the video, see how you do, the answers are going to be up in about 5 seconds. And there you go. Well, that's going to be it for Algebra 2, Chapter 4.5 Notes, Part 3. Your homework is actually on the bottom part right here, so if you need to write those down, go ahead and pause the video. They're all yours. If you need any help, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great rest of your day.